Yeah, good to see you in person. I can give it back if you want it. Exactly.
Friends, colleagues, distinguished guests, community. This turnout this morning, I'm holding back the tears. This means so much to me. This has been a long year and a half in the making. So thank you very much. It is with immense pleasure and excitement that we gather here today to celebrate the opening of the Division of Community Care Community Center. This is a momentous occasion that marks the beginning of a journey filled with innovation, inspiration, and boundless possibilities. As we stand here today, we're not just inaugurating a program. We're launching a new chapter in our collective journey towards progress and excellence. The DCC is not just an idea, it is a vision that embodies our commitment to help those in need and to change outcomes. It is a testament to our dedication to making a positive impact on the people that we serve in our community. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Deputy Commissioner, Michelle Fari. Can you please raise your hand, Michelle? Michelle's been left holding a lot of cards before we hired our new division director, Kristen Rhodes. But I'd also like to take the time to thank our entire DHHS staff, our city staff, my Board of Health, supporters, city councilors, public safety, and organizations who've contributed to bringing this program to life. Your hard work, dedication, tireless efforts, and unwavering belief in the mission of the DCC have been instrumental in shaping the program and have made today possible. I would also be remiss if I didn't give thanks to my family for providing me copious amounts of love and support and endless cups of coffee for these long days of work. Together, we have transformed a community ask, which I thought was a dream a year and a half ago, into a reality. For the remainder of the ceremony, we have a great lineup of speakers, and then around 11 o'clock, we'll open the doors to the community space if you'd like to go in and view it. And at that time, you'll also have an opportunity to engage with the DCC team and the community responders. Immediately following, the community responders will lead some activities, one of which is creating a memory tree, which will hopefully instill hope and memories that we'll keep live. We'll also have a feeling color activity where you'll have an opportunity to paint some stones. We'll also at that time have some pizza and some famous Harold's ice cream will be available. I think that's why y'all came. So thank you again for being part of this grand opening celebration. At this time, I have the privilege to introduce the Honorable City of Northampton Mayor, Gina Louise Shara. Mayor Shara proudly serves as the 45th mayor for the City of Northampton since she took office in January of 2022. Mayor Shara is instrumental in making the DCC a reality and trusting and believing this to be in the hands of the DHHS. We thank you so much. You have given this program the respect and the dignity that it deserves. So without further ado, Mayor.
Thank you. Good morning. I am going to join Meredith in trying not to cry because this is big. This is really, really big. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us for this truly momentous occasion as we welcome the community to meet the Division of Community Care and celebrate the opening of the DCC community space and the work of the community care responders in our city. Following the murder of George Floyd and the subsequent discussions about community safety at the national, state, and local levels, former Mayor Narkowitz and I, as the City Council President then, in June 2020, collaborated to establish the foundation for what would become the Northampton Policing Review Commission, and then work together to appoint its members. In the mission statement for that commission, we tasked them with the exploration of transitioning certain 911 calls, particularly those related to mental health, houselessness, substance use, and other non-criminal matters to civilian responders. As the Commission's final report in March 2021 stated, quote, many of our recommendations revolve around developing unarmed peer response services situated within the city infrastructure. Central to the offering these services is establishing a Department of Community Care as a dedicated part of the city of Northampton. This department would institutionalize many of the services that the city desperately needs and provide residents with the new options seeking assistance with mental health and substance use. This department can also work with other emergency response departments and provide support through partnerships and develop new programs to support existing services. Though the models the Commission drew upon in their explanation weren't this model, the Commission felt strongly that the responsibility of a DCC needed to be housed in a city department. And a particularly innovative part of the recommendation was that, quote, given the nature of the responsibilities we are recommending this department take on, and the recognition of racism itself as a health crisis, we advocate that the department be situated underneath the health department because this will give the department leadership and access to highly trained professionals who have experience with some of the most vulnerable in Northampton, while simultaneously serving the majority of the population as well, end quote. I was sworn in as mayor in January 2022, just as the Omicron variant was surging. The implementation director for DCC, Sean Donovan, started maybe a week before I did and was based out of the mayor's office. He and I spent the rest of the winter planning and talking about how to start building the DCC and how to lay a solid foundation for success for this brand new department, subject to so many hopes and such intense scrutiny. All this while I worked to get to know the rest of the job, got to know departments from the mayoral side, and started to work on my first budget for the city. At that time, it was still called the Health Department, and it was still very much dealing with the pandemic, skillfully executing much needed regional leadership and response, along with being deeply immersed in its remarkable work in other public health divisions. But my mind kept going back to those two lines in the MPRC report where it advocated for the DCC to be under the health department. And somehow, although she had a million things on her plate, then Director, now Commissioner O'Leary, was keeping an eye on DCC and was having similar thoughts. I will never forget the meeting in my office where we both started to voice this idea, and quickly from there, the health department was restructured into the Department of Health and Human Services in the spring of 2022, thanks to the very enthusiastic support of the City Council, many of whom are here today, and Commissioner O'Leary and Deputy Commissioner Ferry and the Implementation Director Donovan started the July fiscal year with a new structure and a new division to build from the ground up. That was just a little over a year ago, and look where we are today. It has taken a lot to get here in 2.5 years. We have all wished the DCC could instantly materialize. For the last couple of weeks, I've really reflected on what has brought us here today, and I have absolutely marveled at what has been accomplished in this very short time. I want to emphasize that we owe our presence at this remarkable milestone to Commissioner Meredith O'Leary's exceptional leadership. I am so, don't do it. I am so profoundly grateful that she said yes and that she took this on. That is why we are here today. She is a remarkable leader. She is a woman that can and does do everything. And without her, we wouldn't be here. And without her remarkable team, we wouldn't be here. And without the remarkable partnerships from all the other departments in the city, we wouldn't be here. So I am just unbelievably grateful. And I'm very grateful that with your leadership, we have not only reached this day, but we have established a very robust foundation and training program for the Division of Community Care, which was incredibly important to me. I am very, very proud and grateful for Commissioner O'Leary's dedication, as well as Deputy Commissioner Fari's contributions, and of course, the incredible work since she's come on of Director Kristen Rhodes and all of her team at DCC. I also want to give thanks to Sean Donovan, who was the implementation director, and with me spent those many months thinking and laid the groundwork to get us where we are today. I also want to thank Chief of Staff Alan Wolf, who we still spend many minutes and hours talking about DCC and thinking about it. And certainly in those first few months when I became mayor, it was a very strong focus for us every day. And I want to thank the rest of the team in the mayor's office, who also, as we said, DCC started in the mayor's office. So I'm very grateful to them for all of the work that they put in. And I'm very grateful to former Mayor Narkowitz, who established this department and gave it its first budget and put it into the city infrastructure so that we could build it the way that we have. And of course, my colleagues on the city council, both past and present, for their just enthusiastic support and all of the work that they've done to bring this here today, and their belief in this division. And so I also have to thank the tireless and dedicated volunteer residents who served on the Northampton Policing Review Commission. The work that they did, the amount of meetings that they had in such a short amount of time, we gave them an impossible task and they somehow fulfilled it and produced a remarkable report and dedicated truly for 6 months of their lives, just dedicated everything to doing this. So I'm so grateful to them and for this concept that they fleshed out and we've turned into this division. And I thank all the residents and everyone who contributed to the conversations that brought us also to this idea and to today, and the conversation about how Northampton could better serve all residents through a new approach to address, mediate, and de-escalate potentially harmful situations, and to help people access the assistance they need to thrive in our community. And a special shout out again to all the city departments. This has been a team effort. All departments have collaborated and talked about this, and a very special thanks to the other public safety departments who are here today and who have collaborated. This is a big shift and change, and we're all working on it and figuring it out. But I'm so grateful to them for their partnership with Commissioner O'Leary and to their show of support and being here today, and for all the time that they've dedicated to helping make this division get up and running. So thank you all, thank you everyone for bringing us to today, and congratulations, and thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, Mary Shar. That was just beautiful, heartwarming, and I think we all felt that visceral feeling when the mayor was speaking about the program and all the contributions to it. So at this time, next I would like to invite up two of our state legislators. We have Senator Joe Comerford with us today, along with Representative Lindsay Sabadosa, if you'd like to come up. Both Senator Comerford and Rep. Sabadosa are tireless advocates for Northampton and surrounding communities, leading the way for equitable approaches to public safety and improving public health infrastructure through advocacy and support of SAFE 2.0 and the ACES bill, which is an act to create equitable approaches to public health. Their leadership has provided the necessary pathway for this work to be created and successful, along with the incredible resources through budgets they have secured. You can always count on Senator Comerford and Representative Sabadosa to be our Western Mass voice, communicating and advocating for our community needs. We thank you for your passion and believing in us and in Northampton. So if you'd like to come up, Senator.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. It's a beautiful gathering, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. Commissioner, Mayor, City Council members, members of public safety leadership, it is a momentous day, and one that's been so hard won and long fought for. And when I think about the trajectory that the mayor and the commissioner so beautifully laid out, I just want to offer a slightly state senate perspective, because it has been nothing short of miraculous the way that Northampton has embraced this program, fought for this program, and now is launching it with your support. So, oh yes, bravo. I know, we should clap for Northampton. So many of you know that part of the funding for this program comes from the Department of Public Health. And that funding is not, although I think sizable, and we're grateful for it, it was not immediately understood the best way to get it for Northampton. So what this city did was tenaciously, creatively, strategically apply and then apply again to get on DPH's radar, to fight for it, to make the case, and then eventually to win the grant, the Equitable Approaches to Public Safety grant, which is part, not all, but part of the funding that undergirds today's launch and this beautiful, necessary program. And again, that work is painstaking, and it was led by the team you see here and so many others, already thanked by the mayor, like Alan Wolf, who I see in the back. So I just want to appreciate that, because nothing happens without the vision and leadership of city officials, and that's everyone that has already been thanked today. Two, I want to recognize the organizers who are working now, many of them perhaps known to you, but it's important for us to recognize that there is a national movement that's talking about unarmed, community-based crisis response, and there's leadership for that national movement right here in Massachusetts. So the ACLU, many of you know Javier Luengo Garrido, who's here with us in Northampton, but the ACLU is pushing for this, the National Association for Social Workers, Rebecca Gurwitz leading in Massachusetts. There are people who are advocating for Northampton's success, not because Northampton hasn't earned it, but because they see Northampton as a model for what's happening in Massachusetts. And so their wind is at our back today. I want to also recognize Commissioner Robbie Goldstein. The commissioner already has come for a meal here, thanks to Northampton and Amherst for hosting. Northampton led in hosting, and he was learning on the ground days into his first foray as commissioner of DPH in Massachusetts, came here to learn from Northampton, from the people here at the DCC, what it was that they wanted to do, how they were envisioning it. Remember, friends, this is not happening across Massachusetts as well as it's happening here in Western Massachusetts because of the leadership of Northampton and Amherst to a large extent. But Commissioner Goldstein left inspired, he left heartened, he left committed to more fully understanding the promise of what EAPS, the Equitable Approaches to Public Safety grant, could do. I also want to thank actually the leadership. I'm sure Rep. Zabadosa will recognize House leadership, but in the Senate, Senate President Karen Spilka, Ways and Means Chair Mike Rodrigues, they had to both understand the line item language, which seems super wonky, but would continue to prioritize the kind of work that's being done here, which has now been enshrined in our budget, and they had to fund this program, the Equitable Approaches to Public Safety, at a level that would allow Northampton to continue receiving funding. Again, this is a new idea, and so people have to get it in their hearts and their minds, and then with your leadership pushing us, we have to see it into a more stable format, which is very exciting. And last, I just want to recognize the work that all of you did, and ask you that as one of the things you do today, raise your voices about this program. Call Senate leadership, call the governor, call the lieutenant governor, thank Commissioner Goldstein, do whatever you can, write a letter to the editor, send out a tweet and tag DPH, anything that you want to do to affirm what's happening here. It will make us both all stronger to celebrate the work of the commissioner and the mayor and this unbelievable team, but it's also going to really send a signal that this idea, community-based crisis response in partnership with public safety, in partnership with public health, its time has come. It's necessary. And it is not something that's like a question of whether or not it's going to happen. It's got to become central to mental health, to public safety from now and going forward. So Northampton's going to show us the way. And thank you again, Commissioner.